me, it looks like it's 9 o'clock. Shall we stand to do our pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Gentlemen, have you had a chance to look the agenda over?
Yes, I did. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. A call for vote. Primer, aye.
Name and I.
Gershak,
How about the minutes?
motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Very good. Minutes have been moved and seconded to approve. Call for vote. Primer, aye.
Name and I.
Gershak,
Good. How about the claims? Have you had a chance to look those over? And do you have questions?
No questions here, so I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the claims as presented. Call for vote. Primer, aye.
Name and I.
Gershak, aye.
Now we have the ARPA portion of the claims. Okay, those items out of the ARPA fund. And I can read them off. We have Bolton and Menk, if that's pronounced properly, for $2,947.50. Slow Mechanical Insulation, or that is it Slough? I'm not sure how it's pronounced. And so this is for some building maintenance at the courthouse, is $1,200. We have Lenco Armored Vehicles for $174,349. We have RMB Company for $4,751.93. Carl Chevrolet, which is the conservation truck, $49,116, and True North Consulting for $2,952 for a total of $35,316.43.
Make the motion to approve the ARPA claims.
Second.
That's been moved and seconded to approve payment of the ARPA fund. Call for vote. Primer, aye.
Name and I.
Gershak, aye.
Very good.
Small contract.
We gotta get this signed. Maybe a pen that works. We're ready. As soon as he's got a chance to look it over. He's down at the end of the line here. Any questions on the contract, gentlemen?
I'll make a motion to approve the Mount Auburn law enforcement contract. Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the Mount Auburn law enforcement contract. I think it's, well, he stepped out, I believe it's about the same.
He's just getting the door.
From what I can see, so. Sheriff, the Mount Auburn contract is the same as last year, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, very good. Moved and seconded, so I'll call for a vote. Primer, aye.
Damon, aye. Pearson, aye.
When it comes back around, you guys sign it.
Once you got Pat, I'm signing it.
Well, I got to one.
Yeah, you sign too.
Yep. And I'll scan it back to her. On number 7, I
Okay.
was working with the weeds department. There was a notice in the paper, which got a little early, but we need to set that date because he destroyed some weeds and has to do a special assessment on that parcel number.
I did.
So if you could set the public hearing date for Tuesday, November 26th at 9:30 a.m. We have to host a public hearing,
When?
November 26th, 9:30 a.m.
So I'll need a motion to set that public hearing date and time.
So moved. I'll make a motion for November 26th, 9:30 for the weed.
Okay. Yeah, second on that, Gary?
Second.
All right, been moved and seconded to set that public hearing time and date. Call for vote. Primer, aye.
Damon, aye. Pearson, aye.
Well, let's jump ahead to, we got about 5 minutes here, so how about some reports? I really don't have time to get into my own stuff. Anything?
All quiet on the election front here, let me.
Yep, same here. All right.
Election week, they kept these quiet.
Yeah. show it's 9:15. Matt?
Lucas Burrington, Ben Tweet, and Zach Tweet are requesting to change the use of 14.68 acres of land to allow for 3 residential dwellings, and they are also seeking approval of the preliminary plat of Carver Road addition. This site, it's located approximately 4 miles east of Vinton in section 30 of Benton Township. The applicants are purchasing this property on contract from the Neighbor Joint Trust and Mark and Stacy Neighbor. The preliminary plat was prepared by Kyle Helland with Helland Engineering and Surveying. The area of this request, it's not considered high quality farmland. This area has an average weighted corn suitability rating of 53, and this land has been used for hay production or pasture in recent years. There's a single family dwelling in timberland located west of this site, and there's also a single family dwelling and pasture land located north of this site. And there are 2 single-family dwellings and pasture land located south of this site. There is pasture land located east of this site as well. 7 notices were sent out to adjacent property owners, and legal notices were published in the official newspapers of Benton County. And Benton County Land Use did not receive any comments regarding this request prior to the hearing. This proposal is located on site with a low corn suitability rating and with steep slopes which are not conducive to row crop farming. This proposal should not have any negative impacts on surrounding farm operations. And regarding the improvements with the plat, there's going to be no street improvements are being proposed. The driveway was previously updated and a private gravel road has already been constructed. A road association agreement shall be established to guarantee access to all lots, ensure repair and maintenance of said facilities, and provide for any necessary utility easements. And Kyle Helland did prepare a report on the wastewater systems as well as the drinking water systems. And after reviewing that report, and as there are exceeding 2 acre lots, it's been determined that the site is favorable for the use of individual private sewage disposal systems. And these systems by ordinance are required to be designed by a licensed professional engineer and in conformance with code, and those will be finalized once the location and size of the dwellings is determined on lots. And they will also be using individual private water wells. And regarding storm sewer, most of this area drains a pond located on lots 2 and 3, and this pond allows for the storage of water prior to overflowing and continuing down gradient. And Kyle has also expanded on that in regards to the drainage report, the letter of intent that was submitted with the application as well. In this land, it is suitable for subdividing as there's no conditions that are likely to be harmful to public health, safety, or general welfare. And the subdivision is not located within the special flood hazard area. And as was mentioned, a letter of intent has been submitted with this that covers the soil erosion and sediment control plan. And as everything has been established, it's mainly just going to be best practices implemented on site during construction that the individual owners will be responsible for. The street standards, this subdivision, it's not serviced by an asphalt or concrete road as required by the subdivision ordinance, but previously on July 30th, the Board of Supervisors had granted a variance to this requirement. And there is an existing driveway in the northwest corner of this property that will be used to access the site from 28th Avenue Drive. This driveway was reviewed by Dan McKenna with Secondary Roads, and it was reported that this driveway was updated in the past and meets policy requirements. 28th Avenue Drive is a county rock road that has an annual average daily traffic count of 180 vehicles. And this subdivision will utilize a private road that extends across all 3 lots with an ingress-egress easement. And the proposed lots, as was mentioned, will utilize a single driveway. The lot arrangement and design is such that all lots will provide satisfactory building sites properly related to topography and surrounding land uses. In reviewing the preliminary plat was found to meet all requirements as outlined within the subdivision ordinance. And regarding our ordinance also has an open space requirement. In this subdivision, it provides more than 0.8 acres of common space surrounding the pond, and that is the minimum that's required by our ordinance. Colin, do you have anything, or you guys?
I think you covered it very well. I don't have anything to add other than if you have any general specific questions in regards to the preliminary plat. 2 of the 3 developers are here. They can answer any questions that you may have for them themselves, but I think Matt covered it very well and summarized everything to a T. Again, we did get a variance back in July in regards to the hard surface roads. Other than that, preliminary plat meets all the required standards that the county has set for us, so, thank you.
Gentlemen, have any questions?
Is it being farmed right now?
No.
It's just grass.
Yep.
And the land around it, that was what the neighbors are going to CRP for, I can't remember how many more years he said, but that got granted this year, where he's not gonna be harvesting that land around it either.
How big a watershed does that shed into that pond? How many acres? Anybody know?
The pond itself's 1.4. I couldn't tell you what the water shed is. Depth of the pond is 14 feet in the middle. The land itself currently as it sits, the reason that it is grass right now is because we're trying to prevent the soil erosion and whatnot that's going on it, because it does have a pretty deep slope on the right-hand side that has, I don't know what else the land could be used for in the near future. And these will be personal residents, by the way. We're not developing and selling. This is where we're moving, so.
I don't have any questions. Gary?
Motion to approve. I'll second it.
Good. Been moved and seconded to approve the land use change. Vote.
And the preliminary
And-
plat.
And the preliminary plat.
Yep.
Right, thank you. Call for vote, Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Deershank, aye. Welcome to Sac County.
Yeah, no questions about this or anything from the neighbors around?
Had you received any
Yeah,
letter, did you?
yeah.
Okay. Did not respond to that letter?
Well, it says to show up here. I just had a few issues with this, as far as parceling it out and splitting it 3
You
times.
gotta give us your name first.
Pardon?
Need to give us your name, please.
John Merchant.
I thought it was, but you've grown a beard since I've seen you last.
You know, there are just a few issues, some of the other people that own property around there. You know, one of them is splitting this off for 3 residential houses. Myself, and I've worked in this county 30 years, I know farmers and acreage owners wanted to put a smaller home on their property for their elderly parents or something, and was denied. So if we can split this and put 3 residential houses on it, I should be able to put a house for my daughter on our acres, give her 5 or 6 acres. So what's good for one, we're wondering should be good for all in the county, right?
Have you submitted?
I was
Any
just
request for
denied,
that?
told that we couldn't split that anymore. And so was every customer and anybody I worked for in the county over the years. Split 3 ways. How many times are we allowed to split a parcel
You
by
get,
code?
you get 1 pre-split out of the 40. That's before you fall under our subdivision ordinance. So when it becomes 3, it becomes a subdivision. These folks have submitted a preliminary plat with $1,000 filing fee, and the only thing that they got exempt from, or a variance, was from the hard surface road. So it's not that it cannot be done, it requires that you follow all the rules and regulations of the subdivision ordinance.
So tentatively, I could put another house on mine.
Depending on CSR, depending on what you submit to us, yes, you would have to submit and follow the rules and regulations like everyone else. There's no reason you cannot. If it's been split before and you already have your free split, which I believe yours has been, John. I think you did split it off to your neighbor,
Well, mine,
No.
I got 4 different sections over there.
but it's been split, I
That back
believe.
parcel was on its
Yeah.
own abstract and deed that I sold Roger.
But anything before 1995 does not commit. So,
That had its own before I sold it.
right.
I think bottom line is, John, if you're wanting to do something, you just go through the subdivision scenario.
Well,
like
it's
these
not a
folks
subdivision, one home maybe, you know, for the daughter.
do. It's got to
And
do
I
with
got
the-
customers in the county over the years wanting to put up a home for their elderly parents, and they were told they couldn't divide it again. So I don't care about the land use change. I don't care about one house there. I don't care if there's 3. It's just the idea, I know numerous people that wanted to put another house up and were told they couldn't. You know, on their 10, 20, Roger's got what, 40 or
Yeah,
50?
43 or something.
He's a land baron now, you know, so.
Well, but so,
But-
You
but
have-
mine, it's already been split up 3 times. I got 3 little spots and now you bought here, so that's 4. So I can go ahead and split it again since I own it.
You have to go through the subdivision, requirements, just
Like
like
these folks.
these folks did.
So he has a possibility of doing that.
Yep.
I'm not a land baron. If my daughter wants to build on mine, can I put her on my front 10 acres and give her 5 or 6 in the future?
As long as you go through this subdivision portion,
Oh,
yeah.
And the ground does not have a 70 CSR or above.
how would you tell? It ain't been farmed in 200 years.
So it most likely is not good farm ground.
Okay,
Yeah, I think you're just basically across the road from them, aren't you?
well, Dave,
Yeah.
Roger and I. Well, that answers that question,
Yeah, but-
except the gravel road.
And is there a thing where, I know there are gonna be new houses and stuff, but sometimes if people have new houses, can they start junking stuff and it making it look like crap out there?
Yeah, no. We will have probably our own little association
I
type.
got more
yeah,
junk
yeah.
than they put.
But it's in order.
Yeah.
No, not, absolutely not.
That answer your question, John?
That does on that portion. The second part was that gravel road. Is there any chance, put a counter on there? I mean, I know you said how many, Matt?
180.
Well, I'd beg to differ with that.
Especially in the summertime.
Yeah, the cabins have grown and there's some, is there any chance? I'd like to see and so would some of the other neighbors that I have spoken with that couldn't make it today. I'd like to see a counter put on that road so you and we all know, get a better idea. I don't know how you come across this 100 cars. I've never ever, in my 32 years of living there, seen a counter on that gravel road.
Well, Myron, you could probably answer how that works with the traffic count.
From the DOT.
The DOT does traffic counts every 4 years on all of the paved roads and select roads. If the county has an interest, every 8 years on all of the system. However, the entire system, sometimes because of all of the experience the DOT has with rural gravel roads, are able to take traffic counts from an adjacent road and come up with an average traffic count on an adjoining one. That they may not always have a tube counter on that every mile of rock road. In some cases, their studies have determine different days of the week, different months of the year, and different times of the day, they can do a short-term count and apply an average daily count to it.
Well, I would think where that's located, that 28th, I mean, it's adjacent to 61st, and that one is way over 180 per day, obviously. You're talking probably I don't even know, I'm not even gonna throw
I'm gonna
it.
guess around 1,500.
Yeah, I was gonna probably say about 12 to 15.
Probably more since you finished that blacktop.
Yep, and then that whole township basically is squared off by the main road that goes to Shellsburg to Urbana, so the traffic count, I agree with you, is gonna be a heck of a lot higher than that. And that's-
And, you know, I've been there 32 years, my wife and I. I've seen the traffic just balloon out of sight since Rouse renting them trailers, cabin area, the trailers. It's, and in the summertime, you got 2 parks down that way, and all the people in them cabins, and of course, people building out there. I don't think that's a true estimate of the amount of vehicles up and down that road per day. You know?
I mean, the DOT will be doing a full-fledged traffic count next summer in Benton County. And that could be an added emphasis road to make sure that they do an actual count on it.
Isn't there a code if there's X amount of traffic, it needs to be a hard surface road?
No, there's
No
no,
state
there's
code.
no reference to traffic count and the type
Well,
of
there
surface.
should be on Route 66. Thank God we're off the road enough, but, yeah, that road's terrible.
You can always do as other people in the county have, go together with your neighbors, and the county would pay for half, and the neighbors would pay the other half and have it seal coated. So, I mean, and once it's done, then the county takes care of the repair. So,
That would be good.
It's a little
because
spendy though.
They don't maintain that road well enough anyway.
But in all fairness, the last couple of years, it has improved.
Sure.
And we did get tons of truckloads just 4 or 5 days before this. I thought it was probably in reference to this meeting coming up, so I couldn't bitch. But anyhow, it is better than it used to be. When we moved out there, you had to get a tractor to get in and out of that road. And it has been better lately, but
Good.
the traffic is still,
So you guys are gonna live there?
Yep. And then his brother is the third one. And they're from Benton County as well, Atkins area, and I'm up from the Osage, Mitchell area, so we're all farm kids as well, so.
yeah, I don't.
Yeah, and kind of where we want to be as well, so.
Well, Dave here, he's your neighbor to the north, or south.
So,
And he just don't wanna see this happen, and, you know, next thing you know, to
Yeah,
the
neighbor
east of
tries to
him,
do it on the backside of me to the east.
you know.
Is there any other questions? If not, we need to move on. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate you.
We made enough.
Discuss the holidays.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Good to see you, John.
You too.
So what would the guy have to do to try to get the speed limit dropped on that road? Because you go out past, that greenhouse to the east there, and that's 35 mile an hour over there. What can we do to have that road going, 28th Avenue Drive dropped?
That goes
There's people that are doing 70, 80 mile an hour.
legal limit, I believe, is 50 on gravel road. And so.
I like pushing people off. I drive 25, 30 on that gravel. But something needs to be done with county-owned road too.
Yep, that becomes an enforcement issue with the sheriff's office. Anything to be changed goes through the secondary roads as far as speed limits.
Good. All right.
Very good, Dave. Thank you.
See you, Dave.
You're on.
Okay, holiday schedule. I asked for that to be put on the agenda because we have the clerk's office, isn't that correct?
Yeah, do you want your email you had?
Yeah. I've slept since then.
Is that a warning, or is it, you just tell me where he's at?
Okay. This is with the state. It will be closed Wednesday, November 27th and December 26th. I think that would be, the 27th is a Friday.
No, that'd be a Wednesday.
Oh, excuse me,
It's the Wednesday before.
Okay, I was on the wrong month. Yeah, state's closed the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So, we're open, aren't we, the courthouse? Okay. And then, looks like the state's gonna be closed, December 26th, which is the day after Christmas. Now, aren't we closed obviously the 25th, and is it a full day of the 24th or half?
It's a full according to the handbook.
It's full, okay. Handbook thing gets a little confusing.
I know, yeah.
Okay, all right. So, there's some questions here, you know, what do we do? Do we follow what the state has done? I know that if they're open and the courthouse staff is off, then we still have to have security there if the state's open, correct? Sure.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Any thoughts? We have followed the state a time or two in the past, I believe, haven't we?
Yes. Never on Thanksgiving, or in December.
Yeah.
Our state's gonna be, you said, on 27th
Of November.
27th and 29th.
Well, they'll be closed Wednesday on the,
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yeah. Okay, and then the
oh, they're
county,
closed Friday?
Yeah.
The day after Thanksgiving.
Like we are, yeah.
Okay.
okay, and then the county's what? 28th and
It's the
29th,
Thursday and
Thursday
Friday.
and Friday.
Yep. Okay.
And half day or no full day on the 27th. What's that?
We've always worked the full day.
It's a
That's
full
always
day.
been a working day.
Go to December, what's the state doing in December?
State's gonna be closed on the 26th.
They have to work all day the 24th.
Okay. Where the county's on. Okay. Thursday.
Are they gonna work on Friday then, the 27th?
Mm-hmm.
And the county is we're off the
24th, 25th. It really doesn't, if the county's open and the state's closed, I mean, that's not a big deal. The big deal comes when it's in reverse, because we still have to do security. I don't think that's gonna affect,
going back to November on Thanksgiving, we're off the 28th county and 29th, right?
Right, yeah, we're always off this Thanksgiving and Friday after.
well, security will be there on the 28th. They have to be.
Huh?
security would have to be there on the 29th of November.
No, we don't, nobody's open that day.
The state's closed.
Wednesday through.
Oh.
Wednesday
They get
through-
one, they're just giving them that extra Wednesday is all.
Okay, okay.
It's just on Christmas, they get the day after Christmas off, but then they have to come back to work.
Again, gets confusing.
They keep switching their schedule around every
Yeah.
year now.
The tough part is for them is for say, our county specifically, magistrate court's Wednesday, district court's Thursday. And so that really kind of screws up the schedule with the holidays and stuff. And I think normally, I know for a fact, week of Thanksgiving, say, this district court would be on Thursday, normally, it would be on Tuesday that week. And I think I don't know yet what they're gonna do, say in December, but guessing from their schedule, that typical Thursday, that would be district court, don't seem like that's gonna happen with their closed. I'm guessing that's why they kind of approached it that way.
If we follow suit for November on the 27th, and we would close the day before Thanksgiving, that creates a ripple effect with secondary roads and the sheriff's office, isn't that correct?
Correct.
Correct, ma'am? And I'm just looking at November, haven't gone forward one holiday at a time. Any thoughts?
The November one wasn't what we were talking about, December.
We're usually pretty busy that day, so I would hate to be closed that day.
You're talking
The 27th,
the
the day
27th
before
of
Thanksgiving.
November. Okay. So, probably would leave that alone, the 27th, and be open.
Hang around.
Wouldn't you say? If they're busy, then we're not disrupting secondary roads and sheriff's office.
bring that over, because there was a burglary, so.
So we really don't have any action to take.
Not for November.
Not for November, no.
All right. So,
Question really comes up with the day before Christmas.
yeah,
Your current policy is that you have the handbook has the day off. But the state's gonna be working the day before Christmas, so they're gonna take the day off Christmas instead.
And then the day after,
and the day after.
and the day after.
Yes, me personally, I would not be opposed to that, the 26th. Give them the extra day.
The county, the extra day.
County.
Okay. But again, secondary roads and sheriff's
Yeah.
office are
Yeah,
working.
yep.
So technically, the courthouse would be open on the 23rd, Monday the 23rd, and Friday the 27th.
Correct. Does that put a heck of a burden on you girls in the auditor's office?
We have to look at your claim schedule, but you'll just have to meet
Well, we're gonna meet on the 23rd, I think,
on the Monday then.
because county's closed on the 24th, which is our normal meeting date. So I think
Usually we
we'd,
like to get it to the bank on holidays ahead of time anyway.
so meeting on the, moving our meeting to the 23rd is not an issue. Sheriff or
It's not pay week either.
Ron or Myra, do you see issues if we do that, close on Thursday, the 26th? It affects your budgets.
Depends what happens Mother Nature wise,
If there's a snowstorm?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're going to identify it as a holiday
Yeah.
this year, then it's a holiday. If no snow comes down, you know, they're gonna just get paid for the day like you normally would. But if you're gonna call it a holiday, the union contract would then pay overtime at time and a half if you had to work.
If they get called up.
If it comes, yeah.
Okay.
So it's a gamble from that standpoint.
Yeah, I think traditionally it's, weather-wise haven't been too bad usually until,
It hasn't been the last few years, but if you go back
Exactly. Yeah.
30, 40 years, you know, there's times where
I'm gonna pay
There's
18
been-
people double time and a half.
Double time and a half.
8 hours regular pay, 8 hours time and a half, if they work on a holiday. I'm guaranteed 6 in dispatch, 6 in the jail, and 5 or 6 patrol. That's a pretty expensive day.
Yeah, it is.
But that's every holiday.
Yeah, that's not just that, it's every
No,
holiday.
that's every holiday.
That's correct.
Well, what are you thinking, fellas? We'll get a little spendy.
And I would just as soon pay the employees, but they are allowed to take comp time, and then that snowballs.
What you guys wanna do? You wanna follow suit with the state, or you wanna just stick to the handbook? I don't have a problem either way.
Flip a coin, I ain't got no change on you.
Not either way. And I'm not gonna leave it to fate, you know. Other department heads, what do you think? Melinda, Haley?
I'll just stay neutral, I don't wanna speak on that.
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Gary, you're awful quiet.
I don't really care. I work pretty much every day anyway, so it don't really matter. It's whatever you guys want to do.
Well, when you're self-employed, you work pretty much
Yeah.
whenever.
No big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's busy for us, but you
That
End of
short
the
week
year,
will be
we're always
really
busy.
big, yeah, end of year.
I guess I would think that most law enforcement would, it's almost 20 people.
Yeah, and if the weather's nasty, as Myron said, you're not only
Yeah.
giving them their regular pay, but you know, you're doing time and a half on top of that?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, so it becomes 2.5.
Yep.
Yeah,
That is correct.
all right. Well, I guess my recommendation is just follow the handbook. And if the state's closed, the state's closed.
Yeah, it don't really matter as far as Benton County's concerned whether the state's open or closed, does
Yeah.
it?
Not so much. No, okay, well, there's no action to be taken then. Okay, very good. Thank you. Appreciate the
But you
input.
did clarify that Christmas Eve is the full day.
Christmas Eve is the whole.
Christmas Eve is off for the county as well as Christmas Day, but they'll be there the 26th.
That's what it is.
looks like November 27th to 84.
Is our normal.
The county will be.
Okay.
Thank you. Myron?
Do your line, or do you want to do your timed item instead?
Oh, we probably should do the timed item. Your times, so, okay.
Barb, couldn't you do that as a timed item?
Yep, I see.
Person here, so.
Yep, I see that.
This.
Thank you.
Where do you go?
You just open the door for Matt.
Okay.
What?
Morning, Mark.
Morning.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead with, because you were a timed item, and we're running a little behind here. So, this is a possible closed session pursuant to Iowa Code 21.5. Should I read this before? Okay. To evaluate the professional competency of an individual through appointment, hiring, performance, or discharge is being considered when necessary to prevent needless and irreparable injury to that individual's reputation. And that individual, do you request a closed session?
Doesn't matter to me.
Otherwise,
It don't need to be.
okay. Then he has not requested a closed session. Okay. All right. So, what do we got going?
Well, I guess I'll start it. I have an employee, Dave Upaw, would like to donate the remainder of his sick hours to Mark, 400 hours.
And that's ahead of what our changes, what we agreed on January 1st.
Yep.
I think it was 20 hours max, but with the
Current
made
handbook
exception.
allows for 120.
Didn't make an exception another time.
To be received by an individual and no more than 20 hours that can be granted by a donor.
But we made an exception one other time.
Yes.
Then we had that employee come forward, so that's what he's doing.
Is there anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
Other than my personal opinion, we have one employee wanting to help another one out, I think we should let him do it.
In the future, though, Myron and I did discuss that a little bit too, didn't we? Like, when the donations come out of different departments. Currently, we've always just paid them normally out of like secondary roads department budget.
So you're thinking going forward,
Well, we just talked about that, like,
it would come from
if you,
another
if you would,
department?
I don't know, it just maybe get some clarification in the handbook for the future. For those payout, you know, because it comes from one budget line to another.
Sure. Any issues?
No, I do
We'll leave it up to John.
Exception?
At least it's not your purse.
I'll make a motion to
Yes.
approve it.
Okay. Second. And it's been moved and seconded to approve donating the 400 hours.
Thank you.
From Dave Upa to Mark Merchant.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Call for vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Your second item.
All right.
Thanks.
Make them sign both of them.
I'll sign underneath. It says to be completed by Human Resources, so this is approved. Okay. 11, 12.
Mhm.
I'll sign down here. Let the board chair sign and we should be good.
Up here.
Yep.
I'm gonna initial that note too, I'll keep it in file.
Sign this one right there.
Well, that's irrelevant now.
You can, initial it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
That's it, we'll move on to mine. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It was 406,
I stole it.
so I'm putting that in there.
November turns out to be an anniversary month for a number of secondary roads employees. I'll start with Benjamin Wood, started a year ago, November 6th. So, following the bargaining unit wage scale, after a year of employment, his hourly rate would increase to $28.76 per hour, and his classification would then become a 4C.
What's your number on him? On the resolution?
24,100.
24,100, I guess. 24-100.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve dash 24-100, Ben Wood's wage classification.
Second. Okay, been moved and seconded to approve the classification change for Ben Wood, as well as his hourly rate. And I will call for a motion, or excuse me, call for a vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Pearson, aye.
There you go, Gary. You got them in order as they are on the agenda?
Yep,
Haley?
I did.
So,
101, 102, 103, and 104.
yeah, I have them, I will.
All
I
right.
made a mistake when I sent you stuff, that's why why I asked the question, I'll move this, since I didn't number it. Resolution 24-101 is for, secondary roads employee Caleb Stiferman. Caleb started working for secondary roads on November 13th of last year. So that'd be what, Thursday of this week? His wage would increase to $28.76. His classification also would be a 4C.
Can I get a motion to approve resolution 24-101 to change Caleb Stefferman, his class to 4C, as well as his wage increase?
So moved.
I'll second.
That's been moved and seconded. I'll call for a vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Pearson, aye. Number 3 on the agenda would be Resolution 24-102. This is for secondary roads employee Will Vernick. Will started on November 20th of last year. His wage would increase on that date to $28.76. His classification would also be a 4C. So moved.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution 24-102 to change the wage and classification for Will Burnett. I probably messed that up. Call for vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Pearson, aye.
And these, of course, are going to be effective on their annual dates.
On their anniversary dates.
Yep.
Yes. Payroll clerk will change those accordingly, and certainly from a payroll standpoint, most of these will have a mixed hourly rate during the pay period, depending on what date that is. Resolution 24103 would be for secondary roads employee Chad Galley. Chad has actually worked for Benton County more than a year, but he switched from IRM department to secondary roads on November 14th. His pay would increase on the 14th of November to $28.76 with a labor grade classification of 4C.
Can I get a motion to approve that resolution 24-103?
So move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve that wage and classification change for Chad Galley. Call for vote, Primer, aye.
Team aye.
Hersink, aye. Earlier this month, and then just earlier this year, and then just earlier this month, here last week, I believe. But a bridge that was under construction and replaced on 63rd Street between 21st Avenue and 21st Avenue Drive has been completed and open to traffic. The old structure at that location had a weight embargo on it. This new bridge no longer needs that same embargo, so we need to have a resolution to remove that embargo.
So is that gonna be 24-104? Can I get a motion to approve resolution 24-104 to remove that weight embargo?
So move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to remove the weight embargo on the bridge on 63rd Street in Big Grove Township. I'll call for vote. Primer, aye.
Team aye.
Hersink, aye.
Anything else, Myra?
No.
I've got so what's happening with the DOT and the number of lights on Highway 30 at the Marshtown corner?
Last conversations I've had with them is a destination light on the south side and a destination light on the north side of that intersection.
So why are they putting two lights there when the highway's wide there and there's 5 lights on Newhall, Watkins, all the way into Cedar Rapids?
And 103.
Well, Atkins would be the last one.
Mm-hmm. Outside of how all the criteria was put together on the other 4 intersections, I know 3 of those 4 that you rattled off. At the time, the roads intersecting Highway 30, when those lights were put on there, were state highways. And the DOT put those lights at Atkins, Newhall, and Norway. The Watkins lights were requested by Benton County when that was 4-laned. The DOT felt that it was warranted, and the county was able to put together a project to light that up with 5 lights, that same type of program. And approval from the DOT was denied at the Blairstown Van Horn intersection, and we're told that a destination light on the south side and the north side were your options.
Well, that intersection's wide, and the light that's there faces west. So when you're coming from the east, it's real easy to miss that whole intersection.
But the wattage has been changed on that bulb, isn't that correct?
Correct. But you can't see it from the east.
I get it. Yep.
And
However, if you can see the one on the north side, you know it's coming out, correct?
There isn't one on the
There's
north
none on the
There
north
will
side
be.
right now, but I'm working with REC on options on what they could put up or what they could supply power to. Tentatively given me some estimated cost to put a light up. I need to talk to them a little bit more. A cheaper option for them would be just to run the meter if somebody else could put a light up. And so I don't have those costs yet.
The biggest problem that I see is the Blairstown intersection, the highway's wide there, where all those other intersections, the highway's narrow. The two lanes are closer together.
Well, you're still work in progress, obviously, with that intersection. That's not gonna happen in 1 week, and it's not gonna happen probably within a month. It's gonna take time. You've got some indication, obviously, what they will or won't do, but, yeah. Okay. Very good. Well, I'll ask if there's any unfinished business. No? How about input?
Just, I guess I'd just like to say thank you for the blacktop work that's been going on 32nd Avenue and of course County Home Road. And love that pavement being done going east past Oak Grove Church all the way to Lewis Bottom Roads. That's gonna be really nice and convenient. So appreciate your efforts on that and voting for approval for that. So, and the work obviously, thank you very much.
Good. Well, if that's it,
Motion adjourned?
Second.
been moved and seconded to adjourn. Call for vote, Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Shake eye.
Very good. And don't forget, we've got a meeting at 12:30 this afternoon.